Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Kieran Kirk. I'm the Operations Director with IMGS. This morning, we're going to be talking about DataGalaxy and our data catalog and data governance. So thank you for joining. Right, let me just skip in. I'm the presenter. I'm Kieran Kirk. I'm going to go through our product. Gavin was down to support today, but he's got held up on some other work, so you're going to be stuck with me now doing all the work. So, right, the IMGS, who are we? For the past 21 years, data intelligence has been in the core of what we do. We provide solutions to automate data flows, visualize information, and build data insights for a wide variety of customers, including local authorities, government agencies, communications, and utility companies. So we have our data intelligence platform. Data intelligence, we have three main solutions in IMGS and Data Builders for our data intelligence platform. It is Safe Software's FME, DataGalaxy, which is our data governance, and SciSense is our embedded analytics solution. So I'm going to talk today about data lineage and data governance with DataGalaxy. So what is DataGalaxy and who are they? Well, they were founded in 2015 in Lyon. They're a pioneer of collaborative data governance in France. They have over 110 clients and who trust and recommend them, and 9 years now in innovation and research, and over 200% growth year on year. So with DataGalaxy, we talk about the data knowledge workspace, and there are three main components that allow us to share, manage, and scan your data, and I'll go into each one in turn. So with the scan, we're able to scan your data, so we can push and pull metadata connectors to connect to all your data wherever it's sitting, and bring in the metadata about that information. So we have connectors for modern day cloud product solutions, but also legacy data stacks as well. And we also have a monitoring capability to keep monitoring those changes as your data landscape changes, that we can then pick up that information. So with DataGalaxy, we've over 60 connectors through either an online service or a desktop agent. The desktop agent is very clever because it allows us to install that agent anywhere, wherever your data resides. So the online service means you need to have connectivity back to DataGalaxy. With the desktop agent, you can extract the metadata and then push it up to DataGalaxy. So if you have data behind a firewall or in different locations or different residencies or areas, you can actually still get that information. There's also a full documented API, which allows us to catalog the services through the APIs, and there's a Python SDK to create your own connectors. So we can then manage the data knowledge. So through the knowledge graph, we've got the management and governance. We have a meta bot, which can help identify things like personal information. And we have a knowledge design platform where you can create your diagrams of how your data is structured and how it's been actually used. So it's a scalable solution. So the knowledge graph is a scalable knowledge graph designed for collaboration. It has a business glossary, so where you can define your business terms, a data dictionary, where we can then build the definition of your data catalog, a processing catalog, which is very interesting, which is where we can show what ETL solutions are being used and how they're being used to process and to move and to transfer your data. And then the usages catalog is where DataGalaxy gets very clever, which is where we can actually use DataGalaxy to see whether it's Power BI or Tableau or what is being actually used with the solution. So you can then go from the graph to the database back to from the chart to the database through the ETL and show that full lineage of the information the full way across. And on top of that, then we have the diagram designer inside Data Studio, where we can actually build these models out. So with DataGalaxy, we have an out-of-the-box metadata model, we've column level data lineage, and we have automated stewardship. So once you have built your catalog and your metadata, you can then share that digital workspace. You can share that information. So DataGalaxy integrates with Teams, with Edge, with Chrome, with Slack, so that people can then very quickly access the metadata of where information is being used and how it's being used. It also means then you have a visual data catalog, so we can actually then see all the metadata about your information. Now, a big driver for cataloging is things like GDPR and being able to, understand data governance and how your data is being used and where. But also a big part of that is not just around data, it's not just around like regulation like GDPR. It's also about if you're making changes to your IT system, that you're actually taking advantage of your data properly, that you understand where your data is, who's using it, and if you make any changes that you're actually not causing downstream issues, which again is really, really important. And then it's a collaborative platform where people can come in, share information, and talk about the system itself. So with the sharing, we have a search tool, which gives you a mid and low intent guided search workflow. We have a discovery platform that allows you find out about your information. As I mentioned, integrates with your workplace apps like Slack and Teams, and it's a visual knowledge. People can see the diagrams and understand the data lineage. So with DataGalaxy, we have a 360-degree data catalog. So it allows us to have the what, the terms, the business glossary, the where, the data dictionary, and the how are we processing our data, what we're doing with the utilization, with the ETLs, and then finally, where is that data ending up? So again, it's that full analytics life cycle. So you're actually being able to see the data coming from source through to your data warehouses, through your data processes, and then into your data, into your either your Power BI or your Tableau or your Looker dashboard. Okay, so lots of uses there. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to jump in. One thing I just want to show first is just go to the DataGalaxy website because they have a very good demo just on the front page, which is always worth seeing. So if we run this little video, so this just shows you how so in it, you can see how we can search into the data, look at the information, find data terms, where they're being used, like sales, is it critical data? What databases is it talking to? What ETLs is it talking to? Where is it getting the information? And then being able to see these diagrams, being able to see the lineage of the data from the various sources straight through, who are the stewards, why am I getting funny results in my dashboards, being able to ask the people who own the data, being able to see all that information, to drill in, to look for specific terms, to add up information and then save views so that you can actually see that. And then being able to understand that good information, run the metadata bot where you can look for options that might have been prompted to you, areas you need to look at, being able to create in the diagrams, being able to build out how your information is being used, and then being able to publish that out to people so that then when they're in their BI system, whether it's Power BI or Tableau, that they can click on a widget and actually find out where that information is coming, is it being used correctly or is it being used wrong. So I'm going to jump into, let's get rid of that. I'm going to jump into my DataGalaxy system. So I have a demo system here, which we've been working on. So we have you can have multiple workspaces. So if you're working across an organization, you can actually create different systems. So we have one here that Gavin has been working on. So it's a demo system that we work, a project we are working on, development project we have been doing, building a fix-it application for one of our customers. So we wanted to be able to show how that's being used. So we can actually see in the business glossary any of the terms that have been created in the system. We have actually got them stored there. So if there's business terms in the application, we're able to have them available. Similarly, we have our data dictionary. So in this application, we have two databases. We then have them in different locations. We can click on those tables and we can see the information, see the columns, see how they're being linked to other objects. So we can see this is linked to this object and we can see any lineage. Sorry about that for a second. So you can see that this table is then going to this other object as it's being moved through. So being able to look at all this information through the metadata and being able to easily see it. We've also shown in the data processing here, we've used our FME product as the ETL solution. So I can click on our ETL object. We can see what the FME process is connecting to. It's going from the Oracle to the SQL Server. And we can look at our diagram. So we can actually see in the diagram, okay, we have an OMS application. It's feeding data into the SQL Server database. Then we have some ETL, which is our FME. Our FME is then these two processes are pulling in, and we're even able to show where that information is ending up. So it's ending up in Power BI. So we're showing that full lineage through our processes into different databases and finding it in final databases. So being in the applications at the very end. Now this is a very simple diagram, but in a lot of more modern organizations, the architecture is a lot more complex, and you'll have many sources feeding into many different processes and then being extracted out into different applications. But being able to go from one to the other to go back is really, really powerful, and means that then an organization understands how they're using their system, how they're using their data. So then if somebody decides, well, I'm going to change this SQL database, well, they should know that it has a knock-on impact on this Power BI report. So you understand that. Or if someone's in Power BI and they're going, well, actually, that report is wrong. We need to find out more information about it. They can actually come in here and see where that information is coming, how it's been brought in. And you can see we've other data processes here, again, different linked objects, how it's been used, the diagrams is in, and then the data lineage is also being shown on any of these processes as well. So again, really easy then to show how we look at the different information. And you can have multiple workspaces that you want to look at and multiple objects that we can pull in. So again, you can see here in our other workflow, which is our demo system, we've got, Azure Data Lake, Snowflake, Salesforce, SAP, all these different data sources that we can then drill into, look at the information, and then start seeing what tables is linked to, how that data is being used, how it's being created, and where it's coming from. And again, if you need to, you can create your links and your information. We also then have our metadata bot, which might suggest any tags that are interested to us if personal information comes up, or any glossary terms, and any alerts, so that it might be that there are new changes sending, what haven't I read, very proactive in how the application runs. And then you can see when the user comes in, they're able to go in and look at, okay, here's all the glossary terms I have, here's the databases, here's my different applications, my uses, glossary, and sources and everything else I need to use to see here from the different systems. And if I need to look something up, so I could just go OMS, or I go, OMS. So you can see OMS extraction, and I can then jump to that. So you're able to search and find this information and jump in and out of the system. So if I jump back to my own workspace, which is I've been playing with here itself, it's very easy then for me to actually get into data. So I can actually jump into using the remote agent. I can jump in here. Sorry, just give me a sec. DataGalaxy, the desktop connector. So you can run the desktop connector. And then I can jump into that if I want to pick up some data. So I could pick up my Snowflake data here, and I can go load. And I just need my password. Just give me 2 secs. Get that. Take that off screen. Log in here to get the password. Should have done this beforehand, but I forgot. So I got my connection. Copy the password. Okay, stick it in there and test that. Works. And now I can save. I've done that already, so I go next. And now I'm connecting to my database up in Snowflake. So I'm able now, because I've done this through the live connection, but just to show you with the remote agent, we can actually pick tables and extract the metadata. So if I actually come up here and I go, right, I'm going to take unselect these and take, say, 4 tables. Oh, put that one back on. Unselect that, and I'll take the first 4 just for speed. And I go next. And I can write that out to the API or the CSV. I'll do it to CSV now, and I'll create a folder to throw that into. So this PC, C, a new folder, webinar. Put there. Okay, and the suffix will be snow. Right, so we'll go next, and now it's going to extract that metadata from the system. It's going to tell me I got 1 container, 4 tables, which is correct, and 19 attributes. So I can go import, and it goes successful. So I've created that. So if I go back into my DataGalaxy, I can come up here and I can go create and import. And I can, in here, you can see all the different ways I can connect to different data. So I've got my desktop connection, I got my online connection, I got different options. But so if I wanted to, I could have just went straight to that Snowflake and did it via the online connection. And you can also filter here by desktop connectors, the ones that you use the desktop with, or with the online, so whatever you want to use. But I've used the desktop, and I'm going to import, and I'm going to go to webinar, wasn't it? I put it, yeah. And there you now can see I have my containers, my structures, and my fields. So I can go open, and I can go start import, and I can select the items. So it's a dictionary, it's a container, and the target is new, and I'm going to call it source type is a database, and I'm going to name it as Snow Webinar. So Snow Web, just for simplicity, like that. And yeah, oh, done that. Snow Web, yeah. Next, and it's now going to import that metadata into the system. I can do a new import, bring back in the structures now. Hit OK. So that's a structure. It's not a. It's a structure. And next on that one, and import. And finally, I can bring in the metadata for the fields themselves. Open that up. Change that to then be fields. Next, import. And that's done. So now if I go up and I look at my workspace and I go into my data dictionary, you'll see now I've created my Snow Web, and the 4 tables I've now connected to have been brought in, and I can look at them inside and I can start adding information. So if I was taking the sales summary here, I might take sales clerk, and I'll go, okay, well, that's PII because it's his name. So I'll go with standard PII, and I can say, is it a primary key? Is it a foreign key? I can look at any linked objects I might want to put to it. So I might say sales amount is linked to it, or whatever I want to do. So I could add another object, and object is linked to sales summary, sales summary. Okay. Oh, didn't mean to do that twice, right? And you can add your objects in and show that they're linked objects and bring them in. So the clerk is linked to the sales summary. And we also can then create lineage if we want. So we could add another table to this and add an object and start building out that lineage the same way as we have done for the other feature. So we're able to then bring that in and start building out a model. And you can see also up on my metadata bot, it can then start showing things. And I go to there, it start flagging any records or tags that we're interested in, PII. Any of that information is also now being brought in and automatically being generated. So I can look at any data that's now in my system that is coming from the application itself. And similarly then, if I needed to bring in the glossary, you can just go add object, you can connect to whatever it is you're looking to connect to, bring it in and update your system, or you can do the import similarly through the API or through the connection. Same for our data processing. If we go add an import, or sorry, we can add in directly, or we can do an import, and you can see the data processing tools that we have there. And we've also built our interface into FME as well. But you've got, Talend, SQL Server Integration Services, Informatica, all the big guys. And similarly, then if we go to uses, you can see we have Cognos, Looker, Power BI, Click Cloud, SAP Object, Starburst, Tableau, all these different applications that we can then see the information in and seeing how it's been brought through the system. Okay, let me go back to my slides. I think I'm just about on time. So as you can see, DataGalaxy are very heavily, widely used. They're used across the world. Lots of good examples there. French rugby. We won't talk about them after last weekend. But yeah, they're all there as customers. Dior, some really big names there who are using DataGalaxy as their data governance and data lineage platform. So that is me as one person, so I will be a bit quicker this morning. I'm a bit faster on my own, and anybody else slowing me down. So I'm not sure if we have any questions in yet, but if there's anything in the chat there, let me have a quick look. No, no additional questions. So I think I'd like to thank you for coming this morning, and I hope you enjoyed the session. If you have any further questions, please reach out to me. I think we have our next webinar, I forgot to put it in here, is next week, I think it's the 5th.
Yeah, June 5th, I
June
think
the
is
5th,
the next one.
And that's going to be the latest and greatest. You'll be hearing from myself again on FME and what's new in FME 2024 and 2024.1 if it's ready. So I hope you can join us for that. Okay, thanks everybody for attending, and I hope you all have a nice day, and thanks Tanya for arranging everything in the background.
Thank you.
All right, thanks guys, bye-bye.